Work with color profiles. Work with color profiles. How to work with color profiles. How to work with color profiles in Photoshop. What about color profiles? Precise, constant color management requires accurate ICC-compliant profiles of all of your color devices, by the way. And for example, without an accurate scanner profile, a perfectly scanned image may appear incorrect in another program, by the way, simply due to any difference between the scanner and the program displaying the image. This misleading representation may cause you to make unnecessary time wasting and potentially damaging corrections to an already satisfactory image and with an accurate profile. And a program importing, by the way, the image can correct for any device differences and display a scan's actual colors. And a color management system uses the following kinds of profiles, by the way. We have many options here now. The first option, monitor profiles. So what about monitor profiles? It's meaning that describe how the monitor is currently reproducing color, by the way. This is the first profile you should create because viewing color accurately on your monitor allows you critical color decisions in the design process. And if what you see on your monitor is not representative of the actual colors in your document, you will not be able, by the way, to maintain color consistency. And what about input device profile? Input device profile is meaning that describe what colors an input device is capable of capturing or scanning. And if your digital camera offers a choice of profiles, Adobe recommends that you select Adobe RGB, otherwise use sRGB, and which is default for most cameras, by the way. And advanced users may also consider using different profiles for different light sources. And for scanner profiles, some photographers create separate profiles, by the way, for each type or brand or of film scanned on a scanner. And the next option, what about output device profiles? What about output device profiles? It's meaning that describes the color space of output devices like desktop and printers or a printing press. And the color management system uses output device, by the way, profiles to properly map the colors in a document to the colors within the gamut of an output device's color space. And this output profile also should also take into consideration specific printing conditions, such as the type of paper and ink. For example, glossy paper is capable of displaying a different range of colors than matte paper. And most printer drivers come with built-in color profiles, by the way, and it's a good idea to try these profiles before you invest in custom profiles. The next option, document profiles. So what about document profiles? It's meaning that define the specific RGB or CMYK color space of a document by assigning or tagging a document with a profile. The application provides a definition of actual color appearances in the document. For example, R equal 127 and G equal 12 and B equal 107 is just a set of numbers that different devices, by the way, will display differently. But when tagged with the Adobe RGB color space, these numbers, by the way, specify an actual color or wavelength of light in this case, and a specific color of purple when color management is on. And Adobe applications automatically assign new documents a profile based on working space options, by the way, in the color setting dialog box. And documents without assigned profiles are known as untagged and contain only raw color numbers. And when working with untagged documents, Adobe applications use the current working space profile to display and add colors, by the way. Like the next screenshot and the next image explain for you how to manage color with profiles. And we have A and B and C and D. ASC meaning profiles describe the color spaces of the input device and the document, and BSC meaning using the profiles descriptions, and the color management system identifies the document's actual colors, and the CSC meaning the monitors profile tells the color management system how to translate the document's numeric values to the monitor's color space, and the DSC meaning that DSC meaning using the output devices profile, and the color management system translates the document's numeric values to the color values of the output device, so the correct appearance of color is printed. And what about monitor celebration and characterization? What about monitor celebration and characterization? By the way, profiling software can both celebrate and characterize your monitor, and celebrating your monitor brings it into compliance with a predefined standard. For example, adjusting your monitor so that it displays color using the graphics art standard and white point color temperature of 5000 Kelvin, and characterizing your monitor simply creates a profile that describes how the monitor is currently reproducing color. And monitor celebration, by the way, involves adjusting the following video setting, like the many options here now. The first option, brightness and contrast. What about brightness and contrast? It's meaning that the overall level and range respectively of displaying intensity. These parameters, by the way, work just as do on a television, and a monitor celebration utility helps you set an optimum brightness and contrast range of celebration. And next option, gamma. So what's the meaning of gamma? Gamma is meaning the brightness of the midtone values, and the values produced by a monitor from black or to white are nonlinear, and if you graph the values, they form a curve, not a straight line, and the gamma defines the value of that curve halfway between black and white. The next option, phosphors. So what about phosphors? Phosphors is meaning that the substances that CRT monitors use to emit light, and different phosphors have different color characteristics, by the way. And the next option, white point. White point is meaning that the color and intensity of the brightest white the monitor can reproduce, by the way. And what about celebrate and profile your monitor? How to celebrate and profile your monitor? By the way, when you celebrate your monitor, you are adjusting it so it conforms to a known specification. And once your monitor is celebrated, actually, the profiling utility lets you set a colored profile. And this profile describes the color behavior of the monitor, what colors can or cannot be displayed on the monitor, and how the numeric color values in an image must be converted so that the color are displayed accurately. And you have steps here now. The first step, make sure that your monitor has been turned on for at least a half hour, and this gives you, by the way, it sufficient time to warm up and produce more consistent output. And step number 2, make sure that your monitor is displaying actually thousands of colors or more, and ideally make sure it's displaying millions of colors or 24-byte or higher. Step number 3, remove colorful background patterns on your monitor desktop and set your desktop to display natural grays and busy patterns or bright colors surrounding a document interface with accurate color perception. And step number 4, do one of the following to celebrate and profile your monitor. If you use Windows, you should install and use a monitor celebration utility firstly. And if you use macOS, you can use the celebration utility and locate it on the system preferences, then displays the color tab. And after that, for the best results, use third-party software and measuring devices in general, using a measuring device such as a color meter along with software can create, by the way, more accurate profiles, because an instrument can measure the color displayed on a monitor far more accurately than the human eye. And be careful please here now. The monitor performance changes these lines over time, and re-celebrate and profile your monitor every month or so. And if you find it difficult or impossible to celebrate your monitor to a standard, it may be too old and faded. And by the way, most profiling software automatically assigns the new profile as the default monitor profile. And for instructions on how to manually assign the monitor profile, refer to the help system for your operating system. And how to install a color profile. By the way, color profiles are often installed when a device is added to your system, and the accuracy of these profiles often called generic profiles, by the way, or scant, or canned profiles, and varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. And you can also obtain device profiles from your service provider, by the way, and download profiles from the web, or create custom profiles using professional profiling equipment. And if you use Windows, you should right click a profile and then select install profile. Then alternatively, copy the profiles into the Windows and System 32 and spool and drivers and color folder. And if you use macOS, copy profiles into the library or color sense and profile folder, or the users and username or library and the color sense and the profiles folder. And by the way, after installing color profiles, you should to be sure that to restart Adobe applications again. How to embed a color profile. Embed color profile. By the way, to embed a color profile in a document you created in Illustrator or InDesign or Photoshop, you must save or export the document in a format that supports ICC profiles. By the way, we have two steps only at this point. Step number 1. You should to save or export the document firstly in one of the following file formats. If you use Adobe PDF and BSD if you use Photoshop, Adobe PDF or BSD if you use Photoshop, and if you use Illustrator, if you use Illustrator AI, and if you use InDesign will be INDD, and the JPG, Photoshop EBS, and the large document format or TIFF. And step number 2, you should select the option for embedding ICC profiles, and the exact name and the location of this option, by the way, varies between applications and the search and Adobe Help for additional instructions. And after that, what about embed a color profile, Acrobat, if you use Acrobat? What about embed a color profile if you use Acrobat? By the way, you can embed a color profile in an object or an entire PDF, and Acrobat attaches the appropriate profile as specified in the Convert Colors dialog box to the selected color space in the PDF. For more information, you should to see the color conversion topics in Acrobat Help, by the way. After that, changing the color profile for a document. Changing the color profile for a document. How to change the color profile for a document? By the way, there are very few situations that require you to change the color profile for a document. This is because your application automatically assigns the color profile based on the setting you select in the color setting dialog box. And the only times you should manually change a color profile are when preparing a document for a different output destination or correcting a policy behavior that you no longer want implemented in the document. And changing the profile is recommended, by the way, for advanced users only. And also you can change the color profile for a document in the following ways. The first one, assign a new profile. Then the color numbers in the document remain the same, but the new profile may dramatically change the appearance of the colors are as displayed on your monitor. After that, remove the profile so that the document is no longer color managed. And after that, if you use Acrobat and if you use Photoshop and if you use InDesign, you should to convert the colors in the document to the color space of a different profile, by the way, and the color numbers are shifted in an effort to preserve the original color appearances, by the way. And how to assign or remove a color profile if you use Illustrator and if you use Photoshop. How to assign or remove a color profile if you use Illustrator and if you use Photoshop. We have steps. You should to choose edit firstly, then assign profile, then select an option, then click OK. And we have option here now. The first option, don't color manage this document. Don't color manage this document, meaning that remove the existing profile from the document, and then select this option, by the way, only if you are sure that you don't want to color manage the document. And after you remove the profile from a document, the appearance of colors, by the way, is defined by the application's working space profiles. The second option, working color model and working space. Working color model and working space is meaning that assigns the working space profile to the document. The third option is profile. Profile is meaning that lets you select a different profile and the application assigns the new profile to the document without converting color to the profile space. This may dramatically, by the way, change the appearance of the colors as displayed on your monitor. How to assign or remove a color profile if you use InDesign. How to assign or remove a color profile if you use InDesign. We have two steps. Step number 1, you should choose edit firstly, then choose assign profiles. Step number 2, for RGB profile and CMYK profile, you should select one of the following. We have many options here. The first option, discard. Discard is meaning use current working space. It's meaning removes the existing profile from the document and then select this option only if you are sure that you don't want to color manage the document, and after you remove the profile from a document, the appearance by the way of colors is defined by the application's working space profiles and you can no longer embed a profile in the document. The second option, assign current working space or working space. It's meaning assigns the working space profiles to the document. And the third option, assign profile. Assign profile, by the way, lets you select a different profile and the application assigns the new profile to the document without converting colors to the profile space. This may dramatically, by the way, change the appearance of the colors as displayed on your monitor. And also you can choose a rendering intent for each type of graphic in your document, for each graphic type, and also you can choose one of the 4 standard intents and or the use color setting intent, and which uses the rendering intent currently is specified in the color setting dialog box. For more information on rendering intents, search in help. And the graphic types include the following, by the way. The following options. The first option, solid color intent. Solid color intent is meaning sets the rendering intent for all vector, art and solid areas of color and in InDesign native objects, by the way. The next option, default image intent. Default image intent is meaning that sets the default rendering intent for bitmap images placed in InDesign. And you can also still override this setting on an image by image basis. And the next option, after blending intent. After blending intent is meaning that sets the rendering intent to the proofing or final color space for colors that result from transparency interactions on the page. And you can also use this option when your document includes transparent objects, by the way. And to preview the effects of the new profile assignment in the document, you should select preview and then select OK. Thank you so much. And after that, how to convert document colors to another profile. How to convert document colors to another profile if you use Photoshop. We have 5 steps here now. Step number 1, you should choose edit firstly, then choose convert to profile. Step number 2, under destination space, you should choose the color profile to which you want to convert the document's color, and the document will be converted actually to and tagged with this new profile. Step number 3, under conversion options, you should specify a color management engine firstly, and rendering intent and the black point and the desired options if available. And you should see color conversion options, by the way. Step number 4, to flatten all layers of the document onto a single layer open conversion, you should select the flatten image firstly. And step number 5, to preview the effects of the conversion in the document, you should select preview. After that, how to convert documents colors to multi-channel and device link or abstract color profiles if you use Photoshop. Step number 1, we have steps. Step number 1, you should choose edit firstly, then you choose convert to profile. Step number 2, click advanced, then the following additional ICC profile types are available, by the way, under destination space. And you have options here now again. What about multi-channel? The first option, multi-channel. Multi-channel is meaning that profiles that support more than 4 color channels. These are useful, by the way, when printing with more than 4 inks. The second option, device link. Device link is meaning profiles that transform from one device color space to another, and without using an intermediate color space in the process. These are useful, by the way, when specifying mappings of device values, like 100% black are required. The next option, abstract. Abstract is meaning that profiles that enable custom image effects, and abstract profiles can have lab and XYZ values for both input and output values, and which enables generation of a custom LUT to achieve the desired special effect. By the way, note here and be careful and take care in this point. The gray RGB, by the way, and lab and the CMYK color profiles are grouped by category in advanced view, and they are combined on the profile menu in basic view, by the way. And to preview the effects of the conversion in the document, you should select preview. And how to convert document colors to another profile. How to convert document colors to another profile if you use Acrobat. By the way, you can convert colors in a PDF by using tools and print production. Then select to convert colors if you use Acrobat. And for more information, you should see color conversion topics in Acrobat help. Thank you so much.